Beans, I'm here. Hi, everyone. If you saw some bonus content at the start of the stream, no, you didn't. Hi, everyone. Welcome in. Hope you're having the most loveliest of lovely Thursdays. I don't know why. I'm in such a good mood. Everything is funny to me today. I forgot to put back the starting soon screen when I actually started the stream. So for the first 5 minutes or so, it was just my art table. And no one was here. Anyways, Turna, thank you very much for the lurk. Also, thank you for the heads up. I was in the kitchen making my tea. But it's not as bad as Monday. Because on Monday, I had... this is great. I had forgotten to mute the mic before actually starting the stream. And I don't think you could really hear much because the starting soon screen music was on, but you might have heard me sort of clattering and pottering about making my tea and stuff on the other side of the house. Possibly muttering to myself about this, that, and the other. So, oops. But it's not as bad as today. I was walking back into the studio after putting the kettle on for my tea. And I was singing to myself the theme tune from the 1980s sitcom Family Ties. So I was like, as soon as I came back to the computer just to check and make sure everything was okay, and I saw that I was alerted in chat by the lovely Turnip that I was on the wrong scene. I could see that I was on the wrong scene, and indeed, the mic was muted, so you did not get to hear me sing the words to the theme tune from Family Ties, though I did continue singing as I made my tea. I think that is a banger theme tune, right up there with some of the greats. You know, oh, what was the theme tune that was going through my head yesterday? Oh yeah, someone said the words "have you ever" and paused for just enough of a second that my brain went, "Ever felt like this? When strange things happen, are you going round the twist?" And that was stuck in my head for 2 hours. You're welcome. Anyways. That's a quality theme tune as well. Anyways, chat, what's your favorite TV theme tune? I would love to know. Because I've got so many. I love a good TV theme tune. Very, very much I do. Anywho, I'm here. We're streaming. Stream is happening. I swear it is. Everything's okay. And this is our prompt for Merchant, and I'm very excited about it, because I've never painted this character before. And they were really hard to draw because they've got these. I wanted to get their arms looking really cool. Focus, you ding dong. Thank you. It's Jiji. It's Jiji. I like Jiji, and because so a little bit of game lore for anyone who isn't familiar with this aspect of Hollow Knight, or if you're not familiar with Hollow Knight at all, but you're here. Hi. I'm so glad that you're here. We do stuff. We do stuff that isn't entirely related to Hollow Knight. It just so happens that this month is Hollow Knight Art Month, and a friend of the channel, Kirsty, runs this amazing event with a 31-day prompt list, and has blessed us with today's word, which was merchant. And so I thought long and hard. There are many merchants in the game, or at least several merchants in the game, and I've pretty much drawn most of them, but not Jiji. And I was like, Jiji! I like Jiji. Jiji's fun. So I thought I would take this as an opportunity to draw Jiji. So lore-wise, what happens normally in the game is you go to see Jiji. When you die in game, your sort of shade / ghost is separated from you and holds on to all of your money until you go back to the place where you died and retrieve it, and the two of you are reunited into one being. I don't really fully understand the lore of how that works. Specifically why they hold on to your money. I don't know. It's nice of them, I guess, but if you die a second time before being able to reconnect with them, your money is all gone. So if they are in a really difficult spot, you attempted to do a bit of platforming that you did not have the right skills for yet in game, but you got a reasonable way through sheer determination, which has happened to me before, where I'm like, this is really hard, but I don't know if this is just really hard because it's hard, or if this is really hard because I need another skill that I haven't found yet in the game to come back and do this. I don't know, so I'm gonna keep going because I'm stupid. You can go to Jiji, and Jiji will retrieve your ghost for you, which is very, very useful. But in this case, she's conjured something altogether different. I don't know why this little motion where she like waves her little sort of flappy long arms, and this plume of void magic appears, and then your ghost normally shows up there. But what if she just conjured like, is this your card? How did she know it was their card? It was the 5 of Hearts all along. I mean, personally, I would find that very impressive, but maybe I'm just a ding-dong. Anyways, but yeah, I have 3 beverages right now because this is a normal amount of beverages to have. I have what's left of my coffee because I made it late and I haven't finished it yet. I also have a mint tea and a lemon ginger tea with honey. Camera's having a good day. Today was a good excuse for leg eater, says Rex. Rex, did you art the leg eater? Also, hi Rex, it's great to see you. Welcome in. Did you art the leg eater? That would be super cool if you did. I always look at the like the art that's come in and been posted on the day, like after I've posted mine, because I always post mine late at night because I'm tired and because I'm streaming all of these. I'm doing them more or less in sequence, so I'm not really able to get ahead of myself. So I will be posting this tonight, assuming I get it done, obviously. But I did art the leg eater. He's as shiny as I could make him. I'm so excited to see. I'm so excited to see your leg eater. That's very exciting. Oh, you've made me think of something. Speaking of leg eater and the breakable charms that you get from leg eater, does what's her face who comes with the Grim Troop and eats your fragile charms and then poops them out into indestructible charms, does she count as a merchant, or does she just count as someone who has very useful poops? I'm not sure. That's also something I don't think I want to draw because I'm pretty sure she's doing a poop. She's pooping out a charm, but still, it's kind of gross. Anyways, I cannot wait to see your leg eater, Rex. That sounds awesome. Leg eater's got, I mean, you know, I feel like his name is more intimidating than he is. Like what's, because I've never seen him eat a single pair of legs. What's up with that? I don't know. Anyways, I'm sure you could spin it into them being a merchant, says Rex, with an interesting way of obtaining her inventory. I mean, that is, you know, that is a good point. That is a very good point. Oh my goodness. Anyways, this game is amazing. If you're not familiar with the game Hollow Knight, it really is amazing. There's some interesting things in it. I opened my phone because I was going to look up a reference image of what the background of this area looks like, because I don't remember. If I can spell correctly, Jiji Hollow Knight. Show me a picture of the room that Gigi's in. I'm probably not going to draw like all of the candles and stuff, because that's a lot of complicated lighting, and this is a daily prompt list, and I am a tired creature. But there's a nice picture here there's a very low-res picture here of Confessor Jiji, and the most important thing is I can see that it's quite pinky purpley, which is real fun because I like those colors. There's no water in here. Do I have a water cup in here? Is there a water bottle in this damn it, there isn't a water bottle in here. I'll be back in a second. Ah, poopsicles. Oh, my knee. What? I was just trying to, there's a pile of boxes that need to go to be recycled in the corridor, and I was just trying to like rearrange one of them that had fallen over, and in putting one back up, that had fallen over, I knocked over another one. So now there's just some scattered boxes in the corridor. Good job, me. Hi. Anyways. Okay, this is fine. It's masking fluid time because this really feels like the kind of... Oh, sorry. The kind of painting stage where I really want to be having masking fluid on it. Mood, says Rex. It really is a mood. Honestly, I managed to tidy one box and another box falls over. It feels like the story of my life. It just feels like such a uselessly Sisyphean task to tidy up. Sometimes it's just like I will have achieved something briefly and it will immediately be supplanted by something else. So what's the point? I may as well just let piles exist. Honestly, the one luxury that if I had like stupid money, the one luxury that I might consider investing in, actually no, the two luxuries that I might consider investing in, first, moving into a new house and having it professionally organized by someone who understands what it's like to have ADHD. That's step one. Step two, hiring a cleaner to come in and do like the hoovering and dusting and stuff. Because I hate hoovering and dusting and stuff so much. It's viscerally uncomfortable to me and I am really bad at doing it, and I've been having to do it for years of my adult life and it's traumatic every time I do it. So hiring a person to do that for me would also mean that I would feel compelled to tidy like more thoroughly more often because I know that another person is going to be that in the house and they're going to need to be able to get into all those nooks and crannies to adequately dust and hoover them. That would be like life-changing for me. I feel like I would have so much more headspace to get everything else done if there was just like a person who, preferably someone who enjoys like cleaning, because some people really do just love cleaning stuff. Get a person who loves doing that stuff to do it for money. If I could afford to do that, that would be like, honestly, the biggest like improvement on my like quality of life, I think, would be just someone else to do that specific stuff. I don't think that's necessary. I don't think that's like a failing to adult properly. I think that's I don't know. We live in a society. And there are some things I'm really bad at. I don't think I'd ever want to hire a cleaner, says Rex. I should maintain that chore if nothing else, but hiring a landscaping crew to mow my lawn and weed the garden is a hard goal. See, that's the interesting thing. I would actually, despite the fact that there are reasons that I am also not a huge garden enjoyer, it's the textures. It's the textures of like the dirt and, sun exposure and all that jazz. I would much rather have to maintain my own garden and landscape and have somebody else do like the Swiffering of the kitchen floor and the scrubbing down of the hob, and especially the hoovering and the dusting. Especially if nothing else, the hoovering and the dusting. I would love to leave to someone else. The garden I'm okay with. The garden, I feel like there's a creative aspect to garden maintenance that I enjoy. It feels like a more pleasant accomplishment for me personally, but also I can see why it would be really nice to have someone else to do it, because some of it is also kind of funless grind. I understand. Very much I do. That is, and I feel like that's the kind of thing that, like, unless you come from, like, silly amounts of money, that's the kind of thing where it's kind of expected that, like, you should be able to do this and also have a full-time job and also be a present and attentive parent to your children and a present and attentive human to your pets and still have energy to engage in some leisure activities. So I can barely do one out of that list of things. So, I feel like having someone to hoover my house is not... Having a house that's been professionally organized by someone who understands what it's like to have ADHD and the needs, the specific needs inherent in that, plus than having someone to come in and actually, like, not tidy, but, like, clean, would be honestly life-changing. This is never going to happen for me. Unless I come into some massive windfall. Oh, incidentally, I should probably buy a lottery ticket for tonight just in case. Unless I came into a massive windfall, that's never going to happen for me. And you know what? That's okay. That's okay. That's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. So it goes. I want to show you. I want to show y'all what I drew for tomorrow, because I need this masking fluid to dry before I can start coloring in the background. So tomorrow's prompt is infection. And you know Steve, the, like, character in the game who, before, when it's the Forgotten Crossroads, he's the guy who, like, jumps at you and attacks you by jumping. And then after that, he just kind of, like, sneezes Fanta at you. I wanted to draw him, but he's just got a cold, so I went back and looked at some of the, like, actual sprites of the character, and I came up with this little, like, 3-panel comic. So there's that, and then, achoo! It's so stupid! It's the stupidest thing I've ever drawn, but it's also really simple, and I really need to keep some of these nice and simple, so I get it done. Rex says, you should know how to do this, is what I'm always laughing about in my head when I watch a groundbreaking. All the executives trying and failing to shovel a single shovel of loose dirt. Placed there to be easy to shovel. How do you not know how to use a shovel? Wow. That is genuinely, that always I find so funny about, like, people who find themselves at such an advanced, like, not advanced as in, like, they're better at stuff than everybody else, but advanced in terms of just, like, career progression, like executives, like high-ranking politicians, like, very, very long-standing, well-respected academics in their field, that kind of thing, and then you find that they just, like, they don't know how to, like, attach something to an email, or they don't know, like, you hand them, okay, the politician is doing their, like, promotional circuit, and they go to a local, like, I don't know, like, street food stand, and they get like a hot dog, and then instead of, when you have a hot dog, it's longitudinal, you start eating from one end, and then you bite along to the other end, and they just take a chomp directly out of the middle, and they're like, oh, and they look really awkward and uncomfortable while they're doing it, like they don't know what this is or what to do. It's like, do I eat this? Is this what a food is? It's like, were you grown in a lab? Who are you? It's so weird. There's always one guy that sticks the shovel in the dirt pile and somehow emerges with an empty shovel, says Rex. I cannot. I mean, clearly they didn't grow up in like, like the bits of Canada that I'm from. Either that, or they had someone to, like, snow plow their walkways for them, because, damn it, like, this little gremlin grew up shoveling snow. Even if you've never had to do any, like, gardening or landscaping, or taken a science class in middle school where they send you out to dig things out of the dirt, like, how do you get into, like, probably at least middle age without knowing? I despair. I despair just a little bit sometimes. Anyways, I'm gonna mask off these guys, and then I can start working on the background for today's piece. And I'm so excited that it's Jiji, because I love Jiji. Also, as you can probably tell by the fact that I keep saying her name, I love Jiji's name. I think it's really cute. Anyways. Oh my god, Rex, you're right. You give a toddler a spoon and some sand and they will be shoveling without instruction. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. They'll be having a great time. They'll be like, digging, and just haven't just, you know, going for it. Because unless you're like, I don't know, some kind of like lizard man who was grown in a lab, it's pretty intuitive. This is obviously notwithstanding, like, if you legit have, like, I don't know, an issue with your motor skills that means it's really hard for you to, like, lift heavy things, but I don't think that's what's going on here. I think there's literally just a, how have you gotten this far into your life and never shoveled anything? I don't know. Okay. I think, incidentally, my favorite thing about this entire piece is just this one leg that's going, like, kick. I just like that. I think it's fun. Anyways, the good news is so I've been thinking about it for days, and I've actually been stuck on, because I've been trying to maintain sort of having many sketches ahead of where we are painting wise, so that I know I'm not going to end up like scrambling on the day to try and figure out what to draw for a specific prompt. Which has been going pretty okay, but I got stuck on the tram prompt because what I want to do is draw the inside of a tram, and in order to draw the inside of the tram, you gotta, there's a lot of interesting and somewhat more complex than 2D platformer perspective. Because rather than doing the sort of like bang on 2D kind of view, I want to actually see like a view sort of going down the length of the tram car from the inside. You know the kind of shot I'm thinking of, I'm sure. Which is just, it's harder to do in terms of perspective and to get the... So I've got like a very rough sketch of it down just to try and get an idea of where like the perspective lines need to be for it to make sense as feeling like that space, and that I haven't like, the perspective isn't too skewed and the like the angles are correct basically, which is when you're brained the way that I am, it's really hard. I enjoy doing that kind of perspective. I think it can create a very dynamic piece, but also when you're looking at something like a tram from that perspective, there's just a lot going on visually, and I need to figure out how much I can kind of simplify it down and still have it look like the inside of a tram with, like, you know, the rows of seats obviously getting smaller as they get further away from you. You can see there's a little sign that's illuminated sort of on the ceiling telling you when the next stop is, you know, where the doors are, where's the light coming from in there, all that stuff. And this piece is going to be just the stupidest deep cut for a very specific subset of people, none of whom may actually be... Actually, no, I can think of like one person off the top of my head who's an old friend of mine who I didn't realize was also a Hollow Knight enjoyer until like a year ago. When I say old friend of mine, I mean I've known them since primary school and we used to work together back in like my hometown. She's really cool. Anyways. If for some reason you're watching this or the VOD, hi Allison. I think you'll understand this reference. Anyways. But I don't want to spoil it because I think it's going to be... I want it to be a fun, pleasant surprise. Am I streaming that day? Let's have a look at the Hollow Knight Art Month prompt list. Because I want to see whether or not I'm streaming that day. And I will be able to figure it out from there. Sorry. For some reason, instead of just putting my paintbrush down, I always hold my paintbrush in my teeth when I do that. I shouldn't do that. Anyways, here's my Instagram page. If you've never looked at it, I have one. You can find all of my Hollow Knight Art Month up until this point, and a clip from my new YouTube video. I'll pop a link to my YouTube channel in the description, or the chat rather as well. But this is the Hollow Knight Art Month page. It's hollowknightam.com if you want to go grab a little look-see at the prompt list at your leisure. Here it be. So let's see, that's the... Ah, shoot, I'm not streaming on Tram Day because it's a Wednesday. Heck. Okay, well, never mind. You probably won't see Tram until I post it then. But I really hope people like it, because I think it might end up being one of my favorite pieces from this month if it turns out goodly. I hope I can do it goodly. But this is the prompt list. So today we're doing Merchant, tomorrow's is Infection, and then the day after that is Dreamer. And when I tell you I got a little stupid with the Dreamer prompt, if you haven't seen my sketch for it, here's Monomon, the teacher, in her like little office study with a boatload of bookshelves. Oh no! I've got a lot of work cut out for me tomorrow, that's for sure. Oh boy. Why did I do this? Great question. I ask myself every day. I don't know, I wanted to do something cozy for Monomon, because she seems nice. And she deserves a nice time. Steve, however, is honestly kind of a jerk. So it's okay that he's got a cold, because I don't like him very much. Because he's always trying to harm you by jumping or sneezing. Neither of these things are nice to do to strangers. Chill out, Steve. His name in the game is not Steve. But for some reason, the first time I encountered this like, character in the Forgotten Crossroads, I was like, okay, Steve, I need you to calm down, and the name has just stuck for me, that this guy just looks like his name would be Steve. You know, like, sometimes you just meet someone and you're like, man, you just have the energy of, like, a person with this specific name. There's this person that I used to see about town, like, in my neighborhood fairly regularly. And he was like, okay, so for those who don't know, I live in the city of Oxford, in the county of Oxfordshire, and the thing that Oxford is the most famous for, obviously, is that it's where Inspector Morse was filmed. But part of the reason that Inspector Morse was filmed here is that there's a big boy university here in Oxford, so there's a lot of people who are here for the big boy university, and it's one of these big boy, like, old school universities, because it's from, like, the 11th century or something, I don't know. Anyways, it's a big boy university. It's one of the biggest universities in the country. There was this guy that I used to see around, and you see, sort of the full spectrum of, like, cosmopolitan humanity here in Oxford, and I love that. I really do. But sometimes you see someone and you're like, you either are a student at or teach at the university, aren't you? And you can just tell, because of the way this dude's blazer has, like, patches on the elbows, and he just has the air of someone who's an excessively deep thinker, dooting around at the pace of a flaneur through the streets of the most aesthetic streets of the city. He's got a very aesthetic cane, that kind of thing. And I'm like, I don't know what this guy's name is, but immediately I was like, your name's Gideon, isn't it? He just looked like a Gideon to me, because he had that vibe. It's probably not, but it feels like it should be something like that, like that flavor of name. He just felt like it. Anyways, this guy feels like a Steve. That's my point. This is Steve. So there you go. Will Sammy book? Asks Rex. Yes. Yes, I will. Apparently so. I like to harm my spare time and suffer, I guess. I don't know. I don't like to suffer, actually. I find painting book is fun. I really do find that painting book is fun. So Gigi's whole deal, her area, is very, how shall I say? I don't know, the color of this area is actually really, like, pretty and cute. I don't want to paint in this. Look at how many freaking candles. You can't really see because it's really low res, but there's so many candles. I don't want to paint these candles. I'm not painting the candles. I'm just going to assume that we're close enough on those two that we don't really see the candles in the background. I might add a slightly sort of diffuse glow behind them, and that's all I'm going to do. We're just going to have a gradient in the background, and then maybe some of that framing sort of curtain / whatever it is up top. I'm not actually sure what that is meant to be. Maybe I should actually open this up in my browser rather than just having it, rather than just having it on my phone so I can see, like, a reasonably sized picture of it. That might be helpful. I'm silly. Anyways. depending on what area of the game you're in, there really is a nice range of, like, colors and set dressing. And I really appreciate that. Okay, here's a nicely sized picture of Gigi's room, so we'll go look at that. And I will have that open in a tab so that I can check my reference to make sure that I'm doing things as I would like them to look. There it is. You notice that actually, if you look at, like, the background here, there's quite a lot of, like, kind of there's obviously, like, so the goldish glow from the many candles I'm going to not be painting in. And then kind of sort of a pink and, like, a grayish purple. So I think that's going to be a really fun, like, gradient of colors to play with. So I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I'll probably use, like, this. Oh, you can't see my hands. Hold up. I'm pointing at things you can't see. I'm using these paints. I'm going to start with, like, this and then sort of gradient into that and then have, like, this be, like, the background color for most of it. I think that's going to be fine. I think that's going to be fun. I'm going to take a big sip of my lemon ginger tea. Let's do this. I'm so excited. Ooh, good tea. I was worried that I hadn't steeped it for long enough, to have it be strong enough, but that's really nice and gingery and lemony. I would say more lemony than gingery today. In any case, it's yummy. Okay, while I'm doing this, I posted, please clap, be proud of me. I made a meme today. I'm very excited about it. It's so stupid. But I did make a meme today. Because I don't know, I've been flitting around sort of rediscovering old hyperfixations of late. I don't know, I think I just need to dig into my past blorbos. Because I've been in a really weird funky headspace creatively, and I just wanna see my comfort characters go on the same adventures I already know. And so I've been thinking about Star Trek lately. And I saw in the Star Trek... Okay, so I should introduce the meme. Maybe I should just show you the meme. No, I'll tell you about the meme. Sam meme! Yeah, exactly. It's a Sam meme. It's, if you're familiar with the meme format, where it's like the two pictures of Geordi LaForge from Star Trek The Next Generation, and in the one he's like holding his hand out, like nah. Like, nah. No, I'm holding my hand up disapprovingly. And in the other one, he's like pointing and be like, this is good. So it was that, but I inverted it. So the first one, he's pointing approvingly, at the top of this person's comment, which was like, you shouldn't diagnose strangers on the internet. Yes, I agree. But then they followed up with, and I'm disapproving handing it that at this. And that's why you shouldn't say that insert autistic coded character from a piece of media here is autistic. And it's like, friend, I'm gonna need you to recognize the difference between, like, you know, unfoundedly attributing a condition to an individual that you've never met and has, like, a rich, like, private life that you are not privy to, versus recognizing traits in a fictional character whose entire being as a character who is made up by writers and not a real person exists within that piece of media, and it's okay to extrapolate relatable stuff based on that. There's a difference between these two things. I mean, I mean, that's the thing about saying that, like, you know, X character from, you know, like, Blorbo from my shows is autism coded, or I think they're autistic coded, or I think they read as autistic. You're allowed to just not agree. You're allowed to be like, no, I don't think they do. Like, that's fine. That's fine. You can just do that. You don't have to get weird about it. You don't have to be like, I'm going to apply the exact same standards that I do to, like, real human people to this, like, construct of dialogue that was recited by an actor. Like, you don't have to do that. It's fine. It's fine. You don't have to do that. I just thought that was really funny. anyways, I posted the meme, and I was just like, okay, guess which character this was in reference to, challenge, in brackets, impossible. Because, I mean, it's, for one thing, I will say that it was Star Trek related, so, like, good luck, because there's so many. There's so many characters that could apply to. Um, anyways, yes. So that's been my day so far. No, that's been like 20 minutes of my day tops. My day has been pretty boring. Apart from the tram sketch, which I will not show you the tram sketch yet, because like I said, it is an incredibly rough sketch. And honestly, the pencil lines at this point are so light that I don't know if you're going to be able to see it on camera. So that's a sketch that's going to need some refining. It's probably, I'm going to hopefully give myself a little more time to actually work on that piece, because it is a little bit more complex, just because we're dealing with things like perspective and how to make sure that that reads nicely, as like a piece of Hollow Knight art. To kind of try and make sure that we maintain like a reasonable sort of focal point as we work our way through the somewhat more 3D space. Maybe an adventure. I don't know. Maybe a little bit of an adventure, but I'm sure it will be fine. Okay. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do with regards to trying to make this into some kind of a, like, gradiential, if gradiential is the word that I'm looking for here, kind of background. I think what I want to do is, do I want to pre-dampen the canvas at all? Would that be good? Or is it enough that the paint's quite wet? Oh no. Oh no. I'm having doubts. I'm having doubts. I don't know. I should probably figure it out fairly quickly though, because I don't want to be sort of dilly-dallying too long. So why don't I just do this like as fast as I can? Okay. So I'm gonna just start adding. Anyways, love, make, share, hello, gradiential is fantastic word. We should all use it more. Thank you. Also, hi. Hope you are having a fantastic Thursday. Welcome in. Rex says, I really liked your Guardian on the Animal Crossing bench. As far as drifting away from Hollow Knight a bit goes, that was good. I don't remember which one that was, but thank you. Like, I feel like I've done so many of these that my, like, memories of what I've actually done so far are getting spotty, which is terrible. I'll have to go back and look. Oh! Yes, of course, the Animal Crossing. Yes, I remember it now. Yes. That one was very fun to do. I don't know, it's just, okay, so if anyone doesn't know, there was a piece where I did the Crystal Guardian, but, the Crystal Guardian does this, like, this little angry dance when you boss fight them. I've decided to just sort of join this up as, like, just sort of a segment of Gradient, but I think it might be a little bit less prominent in the middle. Like, I might let that be a little bit more pink. So I might lift up some of the oranginess from here. Have a tissue. Okay, anyways. That one was really, really fun. Okay. Alright, cool. Okay, pink time. Let's go. But yeah, he does this, like, little angry dance, like, and it just reminded me of when villagers get angry in Animal Crossing. They will, you know, like, if you accidentally or deliberately, if you are mean, hit them on the head with your net over and over again, or if they fall into a hole, or if they get into an argument with another villager, they might get angry, and they'll kind of stomp around, and, like, steam comes out of their heads, and they've got little angry faces on. They do this little angry dance. It's really it makes me sad to see it because I don't like, you know, sort of I don't like seeing my Animal Crossing villagers upset. But also, it's really stinking cute. Anyways, the Crystal Guardian does a little angry dance in his boss fight that just reminded me so much of the angry dance that the Animal Crossing villagers do that I was just like, oh, well, I guess I know what I'm painting the Crystal Guardian doing. And it was really fun to do, and I had a great time. So I'm glad I did that. That was really fun, and so I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you. Anyways, okay. Just about done with this gradient situation. I love this combo of colors, by the way. I've always loved the combo of this sort of like orchid pink with like a sherbet-y orange. I think possibly because it's just the color combo of rainbow sherbet, if you've ever had rainbow sherbet. Which was my favorite like ice cream flavor when I was a very small child. Absolute favorite ice cream flavor when I was a very small child was rainbow sherbet from Baskin Robbins ice cream. And then when I was back in Canada for my 40th birthday last year, almost a year ago, because my birthday's on the 25th, by the way. Mark your calendars just in case. I don't know. Anyways, so I ordered a rainbow sherbet from Baskin Robbins the last time we were back in Canada, and you know, oh, it was just okay. I thought it was too sweet, and I don't know if that's just because I was about to turn 40 and my tastes have changed and I hadn't had it probably in about 30 years, but man, it was too sweet. I was so sad that it was too sweet, because when I was little, it was my favorite. So that gave me a little bit of a sadness. But you know, so it goes. Such is life, innit? You get middle age and suddenly your favorite sweeties are too sweet. That's not the case for me like 100% across the board though. There are some like nostalgic childhood sweets that I still just love the same amount, like the pink cream soda from Canada. It is so sweet. It's so sugary. But I just love it. I just think it tastes really good, damn it. So I don't care. It tastes nice and I enjoy it. So whatever. Anyways. I hope I'm not layering too much. There's this background is quite purple. It's like a grayish purple, so I will add sort of a more shadowy gradient. This is just the underpainting. It's gonna get grayed out a little bit from here. But this is a good starters, and also it's real pretty. So that'll do. Maybe I'll just leave it at that, because that's I like these colors. I think they're pleasant. Anyways, it does look like rainbow sherbet. Oh man. But yeah, I was really disappointed by the rainbow sherbet. I was like, this is not as good as I remember. What am I supposed to do with this? Now I feel sad. And it was kind of a bittersweet moment for me, even though it was a overly sugary moment. Kind of makes me want to make like a homemade rainbow sherbet, but just like with fresh fruit, like make like a raspberry sorbet and make an orange sorbet and make a pineapple sorbet and just eat them together with a lot less sugar. I think that could be nice. I think that could be very nice. Anyways, I mean, I'm probably going to not do that because that also sounds like a lot of work. Maybe I could just take those fruits and put them in a smoothie. Oh, geez, I could just do that. I've got yogurt. I've got frozen fruit. I've got fresh oranges. Beans, I'm going to have to make myself a smoothie tomorrow. Oh, well. I love smoothies, but I don't make them very often because I don't like having to clean my stick blender. Anyways, has anyone else had that experience of something that's like a really nostalgic taste for you, and then you have it like years later as an adult and you're like, oh no, and you're not sure whether or not like the thing itself has become worse or that your tastes have just changed? Like, has it changed or have you? I don't know. That's starting to feel more philosophical than I think my brain can handle. Anyways, the background for this I think is going to be a little bit more straightforward. I might just go straight to using just bluish black. Just blue. Actually, no. No, I can't keep it that simple. Come on, it's me. We're gonna give it a slight gradient. Because it's me and I want us. So I think I'm gonna start. Ooh. Should I start with the turquoise or cornflower? I just don't know. Oh no. Oh no, I don't know. I think I'm gonna start with turquoise because I think it's pretty. I don't know if it's accurate, but also I'm not committing to doing like a full like game accurate background for this piece. I'm just doing like a colorful gradient. So I'm gonna start with a little wash of turquoise, and then I will kind of ground that a bit with the very dark blue that is the paint that I'm obviously going to use up the quickest of this entire set because I mostly use this paint set for Hollow Knight Art Month. This is purplish black. This is bluish black. You'll notice I've barely touched any of the other colors. Hollow Knight Art Month. Can you tell? I feel like yes. Okay. I'm just gonna... I've got like 2 minutes before... shoot! I've got a terrible drawing time. Shoot. Let me just pop down this paint color real quick, and then I will snooze ads, and then I'll do terrible drawing time because that's... How am I gonna draw that in pencils? Oh, jeez. Rex, you give me a challenge, but I will try. I will try my best. In fact, I'm having a thought. I'm having thoughts and feelings about this already. One of the things that's nice about the two paint styles, like the two paint palettes that I use for Hollow Knight Art Month, is that they are both, they both lift quite easily, especially if they're still a little bit damp. So you can layer, but you can also kind of lift. So even though I'm putting this one color down and I'm going to end up kind of blending it out, it will blend out into our nice gradiential situation. Such a useful word. I can't believe it didn't exist, and I hope it existed before today, but if it didn't, it should have, because it's good. Anyways, you can do it after the ads if it's easier. I'm not going anywhere for approximately 79 more minutes. I see, Rex. Well, in that case, I might not snooze the ads. I might do a super quick BRB, and then we will come back and straight away do the terrible drawing time, which I am very excited to. I don't know what that's gonna look like, but I guess we'll soon find out. Beans the cute. Look at him. I feel like this piece is gonna be so stupid. I'm so excited. I like doing stupid art sometimes. It makes me feel good to do stupid art sometimes. So today is a stupid art day, and that's nice, especially considering that the day after tomorrow, I gave myself books for Overmore. Okay, we're gonna do a quick BRB. I will be back in just a minute. You won't miss anything. So have a nice BRB, everybody, and then we'll do a terrible drawing time for Rex. BRB! Sup, I'm back. Hey. Hi. Hello. Hi, hello. Hello, hi. Sledge is here, says, has anyone seen our streamer? Hi, it's me. I was on BRB because ads were running, and also I needed to pee. Everyone else, I did not just say that. That was just for my moderator / spouse. Anyways, hi, welcome in. Hello, Tals. How are you doing? Just in time for the music. I'm sorry it's me talking again, and also it's terrible drawing time, so this is going to go away for a second. And I'm going to draw, or attempt to draw, Rainbow Sherbet for our wonderful friend, Rex. And I'm very excited to do so. For anyone who isn't familiar with the idea of terrible drawing time, we'll just get a look at how terrible these drawings are, and I think that probably gives you a good indication. It is a phenomenon where for 5,000 channel points, I have 5 minutes or less to draw a character or concept of your choosing from memory or sight unseen on the terrible drawing canvas, which is this. Here it is. Anyways, we'll be home very shortly, says Sledge. Yay! I look forward to greeting you in person. Ta-ta for now. Rex says GPG, aka Go Piss Girl. It's fine. My business is concluded. I try and reserve it for BRB breaks. Anyways. Yummy. This, I don't know if you can hear. Hang on. Oh, it stopped. The the ice cream van is going around outside. I'll be honest, it is overcast and kind of chilly today. I feel like this isn't the day that you want to run outside and get like an almond magnum. That said, I have said the words almond magnum to myself, and guess what? Yes, I would like specifically one of the mini vegan magnums, the almond variation, because there's almonds in the chocolate and then there's vanilla ice cream in the middle, but it's non-dairy, so I don't have to take a lactase pill. And to be honest, I actually like the vegan ice cream better of the magnums. I've tried both and I think the vegan one is nicer. And that's neat. Anyways, I don't think the vegan one is better for you. I'm pretty sure they're both super unhealthy, but dang, they got bit chilly for ice cream today. Here, says Tals. Yesterday, on the other hand, yesterday was warm. Yesterday, I had like a 15-minute walk, and at the end of it, I was sweaty. Yesterday, I had to go get an iced strawberry lemonade because I was, woof. Okay, I've put it off for long enough. I need to, where's my pencil? This pencil's getting tittle quite quickly. Like, it's diminishing. And I think this is a testament to just how much more drawing I do than I used to, like, before I started art streaming. Because before I started art streaming, I had the same pencil for, like, years. I whittled it down to a stump of about, like, that much, right? But it took a really long time to get it down to a stump of, like, that much. Like, years. And now I get through, like, at least one pencil a year, I feel like. I'm just... Especially with art months like this, it just wears down. This is going to need to sharpen pretty soon. Case in point. Anyways, I need a secret weapon for this terrible drawing time. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, but I'm going to come back in just a second with it. Because this terrible drawing time is special, and it needs a special tool. Alright, it's terrible drawing time. Rex says, I don't have a pencil sharpener at work, so I use the bench grinder. That's so much cooler than my sharpener. I have two sharpeners, actually. I have this one, and for some reason I also have this one. I think this is a pencil sharpener that came from, like, an art supplies or stationery shop. This is a pencil sharpener that came from, like, Boots in the makeup section. They perform the exact same function, except you can put your, like, thick and chunky eyeliners in this one. That's the difference. I do not use eyeliners or lip liners or basically any makeup besides very occasionally lipstick. And I don't even wear lipstick that often anymore. I used to like wearing interesting lipstick colors when I went out from time to time because it's like it's just fun to have another color on my face, I guess. But I also don't like the feeling of makeup on my face, and I don't think I need it to look nice. But I kind of got out of the habit of wearing lipstick when, like, masks came in use, because obviously I can't, if I put lipstick on under my mask, the inside of my mask is going to get all smudged and gross, and then my lipstick is going to get all smudged and gross. And I've got a mask on, so no one can see my mouth anyway, so it doesn't matter. So I stopped. And now I don't wear masks every day when I go out, because, you know, for the most part, I don't need to. But unless I'm sick, if I'm getting over a cold or something, you know, or whatever. But what was I saying? I don't know. Where's my phone? Did I leave my phone in the other room? Did I leave my phone in the other room? No. My phone is under the paint palette. I put the paint palette to one side so I could terrible drawing time. I need my phone to set the timer so that I can do my terrible drawing time of a rainbow sherbet. I don't know how terrible it will be. I will try and make it as terrible as I can. I promise. I promise I will. Anyways. Clock. Timer. 5 minutes on the clock. Starting now. Look, it's my face. Hello. Start. Okay, start. Alright, 5 minutes to draw a delicious, delicious rainbow sherbet. So I will pop that right here. Okay. I think the way that I'm going to do it This isn't exactly what it looks like in real life, but I think it'll be the most aesthetic way that I can do it. Sort of little scoopy shapes. Little scoopies. But this is functionally this is a bowl of rainbow sherbet, right? That's fine. That's okay. But how do you know it's rainbow? All I have is pencil. Oh no, I don't. I'm cheating. Now here's the interesting thing about rainbow sherbet is that the multicoloredness about it, like the name of it, these are the things that appealed to me as a child about it. But it's not actually rainbow sherbet. It's 3 colors. It's 3 colors. It's like 3 colors. This, damn, this set doesn't have an orange. This set has deep cadmium, which is not orange enough. So I think what I'm going to have to do is maybe just kind of attempt to blend. I'm going to have to attempt to blend my colors to make what I'm after. Okay, so I'm just going to start coloring in my rainbow sherbet. And the different scoops are going to have different proportions of the 3 colors that make up a rainbow sherbet, of course. But they'll all be delicious. Don't you worry. So that was buttercup yellow. Now I'm going to come in with this cadmium, but I'm going to try 3 colors, but that's all artists needed for most of history to depict a rainbow, so it qualifies, says Love Make Share. Yay! Hey, you know what? That works for me. I mean, to be fair, for years and years, I don't really use colored pencils very often, so this is very, like, foreign to me as, like, a thing that I'm doing right now. Because I just honestly don't use colored pencil very often, so this feels really weird to be doing. It's not usually my chosen medium, but I felt like it would probably be the best way to do this on. This isn't really good watercolor paper. It's like a thinner sort of mixed media paper. So I thought it would work better with pencils, but I don't really use colored pencils very often, so I'm not super skilled at like blending and stuff with them. But I used to have like 5 paints. Oh my gosh, Love Make Share, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome on in. Colored pencils, it tells. I'm so sorry. Also my time is running low. So I'm gonna try and create an orange by just applying very little pressure to the red. I maybe should have gone in with the red first and then put the yellow on top, but whatever. It's all fine. It's gonna be fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Shh, it's fine. Anyways. I used to, for years, I only had like three main colors. I had like yellow, I had like sort of a magenta, and I had like a sort of cyan blue color, and black and white. And those are the only paints I owned, and any colors that I made, I just made out of those. And that's just because I had even less budget to make art with. So I was just like, I guess this will have to do. Anyways, what do I want the logo of this to be? I'm gonna make up my own ice cream logo. Or maybe, what if I do the sort of like some like waves crashing on my ice cream container. I feel like that's a thing. Shut up, I'm not done. Have I just overridden the timer? Yes, because I want to do this some justice and make sure that it looks kind of good. I'm gonna just do some shading with my pencil though. Just that little sort of lip at the top of like a cuppy like this, and then a little bit of shadows kind of between. Between the segments of the ice cream. All right. Terrible drawing time. Rainbow sherbet. Rex, I hope you're happy. It's the only way I could think to do it. I had to bring out the big guns, and the big guns are a 12-pack of Derwent Pro colors. So, you're welcome. Anyways, Love Make Share says, weird to think that the 7-color rainbow is like 150 years younger than the Mona Lisa. What is time? I was actually watching a video yesterday where someone was doing like doing some oil painting using like a very like classic like old school color palette where you've got like some yellow and red and brown and then like sort of some grays and some white for highlights, and there was no blue, and part of the reason for that is that blue was expansive. Blue was expansive back in the day. So, artists would often use a more limited color palette, and as one does when one is working with a limited color palette, kind of fudge things so that because you're using these very, very warm colors, you can kind of get the grays to have a bit of a bluish effect in contrast. And it can create a really, any sort of limited color palette like that can create a nice mood or an atmosphere for your piece, which is very, very fun to do. Anyways, I think my moderator / spouse has just come home, so I'm gonna go say hello. I'll be back in a second. Hi, sunshine. Hello. I'm glad you're home. I missed you. I love you. Go home. Shit, do we have any ibuprofen?
I think we've got ibuprofen.
I don't know where it is. I'm going to take the last of these paracetamols. Hi everyone, I'm back with paracetamol. Good tub, says Tal. Thank you. I like a tub of ice cream. Rex in the chat says hello, moderator / spouse. He says hello, Rex. I do like a tub of ice cream. I do, I used to enjoy waffle cones. Damn it, sweetheart, that's another thing I've just realized I can't eat anymore. Sorry? What's wrong with waffle cones? Oh, okay, my moderator / spouse doesn't like waffle cones. Are you thinking of, like, the nice ones, or, like, the ones that taste like styrofoam?
There's not much difference.
Yes, there is. One of them is, like, freshly made and crispy and sweet, and the other one tastes like styrofoam. He doesn't like waffle cones, apparently. But you know what? I'm fine with getting a tub. It's also not as messy. Things are less likely to drip and get all over the place if they're in a nice self-contained tub, I think. So, I am a tub of ice cream enjoyer. I am also a lemon ginger tea enjoyer. Excuse me while I take medication. Hopefully that will make my tum not feel like boo-boo garbage. I would love that for me. Okay, now, this piece is still looking a little too rainbow sherbet, if we're being honest. So I think I'm gonna have to just get a bit of a slightly less cheerful gradient into it with the use of some of this purplish black, which is hopefully won't gray things out too much, but will kind of subdue things down a little bit so it doesn't quite look like we are in the middle of... I don't know, these colors are also very lesbian flag adjacent, and I do like do I like the color scheme of the lesbian flag because it reminds me of rainbow sherbet? No. But now that I've said that, the lesbian flag reminds me of rainbow sherbet. Pride Month is in a couple of weeks, everybody. Maybe I'll make some lesbian pride rainbow sherbet artwork. Anyways. I don't know what art I'm doing for Pride Month. I haven't really had a chance to think about it. I'm thinking about the fact that, oh, by the way, as of today, I've been a UK resident for, as of literally today, I've been a UK resident for 12 years. So happy UK residence anniversary to me. My moderator / spouse gave me a very weak thumbs up. Hey, you should be happy I live here, sweetheart. We're married. He's in the kitchen. He can't hear me. I'm sure he's over the moon about that fact. But now I'm worried. Oh no. Anyways. I'm sure everything's fine. Sorry, I don't know why I started singing. Happy UK anniversary, Sis Tels. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Hope you're having a beautiful day, by the way. I hope it is good and full of delights and nice times. Maybe what this... Okay, so I've just added a little bit of the, like, lavender paint to that. Maybe what I need to do is just water this, like, way down. Just have it be a very fine wash over the top of these other colors so it doesn't, like, just obliterate them with its grayness. But it does need to be grayer. It is definitely a little too not gray enough. Because while there are a lot of vibrant colors in Hollow Knight, most of them are kind of tempered by gray. And grayishness, and that grayish blue or that grayish purple that kind of permeates a lot of the areas in the game. Fun stuff. Anyways. I think this piece is going to be fun. I hope this piece is going to be fun. I'm having fun doing it, certainly. I've made the Casa de Jiji a little bit more sherbety. Feeling a little bit more Sherbetlandian than it is in game. But you know, I think that's fine. I think that's okay. I think this slight toning down of it, I think, is helping with that. Hopefully, anyways. Hopefully it still looks good. Okay. Alright, little buddy. I've had a few people express that the artwork that I did for Flute, that is so much better! Yay! And now there's a Sammy stream, so that's delightful. So still, oh, maybe not full of delights, but was okay. Well, I'm glad it was okay. I wish for you many delights. All of the possible delights. I will be celebrating my UK versary today by having a very British meal of a quite Mediterranean salad. Oops. I'm doing a salad with falafels, some lemon juice, olive oil, za'atar, some crumbly cheese. You know, British food. Oops. I should have celebrated today by getting in, like, I don't know, fish fingers and baked beans and marmalade on toast. I did not. And that's my bad. And I'm sorry, and I'm taking accountability. So, there you have it. Anyways, I'm just painting the floor. I'm just giving us a nice little floor here. While I wait for the gradient above to dry enough that I can paint in Jiji's plumes of conjuring magic. Love a good conjuring spell. I don't know about you. Conjuring's fun. Yeah. Celebrate the UK versary by letting your taste buds have seasoning, says Rex. You know what? You're right. I'm worth it. I deserve seasoning. I will say, you know, like, that is a misconception that British food isn't seasoned. It is seasoned. There's plenty of seasoning, but usually it's seasonings I don't enjoy, like grainy mustard. Oh no, or horseradish. I did, however, find a tub of the good sauerkraut at the supermarket the other week. I haven't opened it yet because I'm nervous because I've never had this experience with sauerkraut before. It says once opened, use within 7 days. It's fermented. It's a fermented food. Why do I have to eat it within a week? It's fermented. It'll just, if anything, it's like miso. Miso's, like, I feel like the best before date on a thing of miso is it's not a guide, you know, it's not like a hard and fast rule. It's just kind of a guideline. It's a suggestion. You know, you can keep eating that miso as long as it still tastes good. Unless it's starting to look, like, weird and you're freaked out by that, or it doesn't taste good to you anymore, you can keep eating that miso. It's fine. It's fermented. It's just going to keep fermenting. Like, it's okay. I think this is going to look, I'm going to do some sort of framing stuff around the top, and there's going to be some magic plumes in the middle here, but I think this is turning out really, really cute, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to set that to one side, and I'm going to finish the gradient for Sneezy Steve here. Anyways, for which I need my most used color of this palette by a country mile. It is good old bluish black, which I have used so stinking much of, because it's just, I mean, if you've been through the hallowed halls of Hallownest, you will know it is very well used in the game. The sort of grayish blue color scheme is kind of ubiquitous, so it's kind of hard not to use it. Okay, all right. And so now I go in with my blue blend. But again, literally for this one, I'm just making a gradient. That's all I'm doing. I'm just making a gradient. I'm not, partially because I'm kind of hoping that I might be able to sort of animate Steve. So I want the background to be fairly uncomplicated. So I decided not to, like, put him into a scene so much as into a gradient. Again, one of the things that I wanted to do with Hollow Knight Art Month this year was to do stuff that I haven't really done before, is to do pieces that don't just feel like they're a screen cap from the game. And most of the things I'm doing do still look like just a screen cap from the game, but, you know, like, the context is different, or, oh, by the way, there's cake. But I wanted to do some that were a little bit different as well. I've done a couple of just, like, more detailed portraits of game characters, which was really fun to do. And then sort of messing with trying to come out of just using the, like, the, like, 2D perspective of the game, but that's proving to be really difficult. Partly because when I look at actual scenes in the game and I try and imagine, okay, what would this look like from a different angle, like, my brain cannot conjure that. That's too much for my brain to conjure. My brain isn't that smart. But so it goes. Such is life, such is art. But I am doing one that's very much that style of departure for Tram, which is why the sketch is taking me so darn long. But I hope it will ultimately come out good. Fingies crossed. Anyways, if you're doing Hollow Knight Art Month, and I highly encourage anyone who is an enjoyer of such things to, like, get in on it, because it's really fun. If that's your bag and you've got the time to do so. Gazillion out of 10 do recommend. It's a lovely good time. If you share it, if you share your artwork on, like, socials and stuff, use the HKAM25 hashtag. I'm trying to wander through it and see what everyone else is doing, because I'm nosy and I love seeing other people's interpretations of the prompts that I'm also doing. There's also, I think, in Kirsty's Discord and also in the Discord for the Hollow Knight guy Mossbag, have sections where you can post your Hollow Knight art. And you should do that. Anyways, this gradient is messy, but, like, oh well, that's fine. I think I actually want it to be maybe a little bit darker at the top. So I'm gonna just add more paint to it and then blend that bad boy out. Anyways. blend it out. Blend it out. And then we realize that we have to blend even more, otherwise we're going to create an ugly waterline. Yay! No. Okay. I think we're just about there. It is fun seeing all the different arts that folks have been doing. Absolutely. I love the fact that there's like a breadth of media as well. Like obviously digital, traditional, but also just like other stuff. Is always really, really cool to see. Love seeing people get involved who like haven't played Hollow Knight or don't really know things about Hollow Knight, but are like, this looks cute, I'm gonna paint this little guy. I just think that's really fun. Because aesthetically it's a fictional world that's got a really interesting aesthetic as well. Okay, so this is a weird gradient, but I feel like it works. It gets the idea across. Da-dun! Done. Okay. So that's gonna be set aside now to dry out and do all of the things and hang out for a bit, and we're gonna come back to this because there's one wet patch. I feel like I can work around the wet patch though. This is fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I can pull up my picture. Okay, so actually, Gigi's kind of got like a little blanket spread out in front of her or something. There's like something on the ground here. So I'm just gonna take, hopefully, a semi-clean brush at this point. And see if I can just lighten out this segment of the floor. Give that a little blot. My little blotting tissue. Bloop, 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 bloop. Okay, cool. And then I'll add some texture into that once that has dried. And the other thing is we've got all this weird stuff like hanging from the ceiling, which makes nice, what's the word I'm looking for it? A nice sort of framing device, I guess, for the piece. So you've got some dark down here, you've got some dark up here. It just creates a nice little bit of depth. And I think that should work very well for us. Okay. So I'm just gonna you know, rough in some funky shape. I might actually go upside down because I find doing these sometimes actually coming down from above is actually easier when I'm upside down. Is that weird? I don't know. I might actually do sort of more like that. Like that. Ooh, yeah, that's nice. That's nice. I think this will be good. Yeah. Okay. Happy with this so far. I'm not sure what this is. Is this some kind of just like, is this some kind of plant matter? Is this just like old sort of torn up curtains? I don't know. But there's a lot of it about. So it's nice to get to use it as kind of a, I don't know. It does create a nice. I think they use it in game a lot to kind of create a sense of depth because you are on 2 dimensions, obviously, but you want to try and create a sense that this world doesn't just exist in 2 dimensions, even though that's the way that that's the only angle at which we're able to view it. And one of the ways to do that is to just create those sort of those layers of just like set dressing in the foreground and the background to get the impression of, you know, there's something in front of this as well as like the things behind you. And when you have those elements that are ostensibly sort of in the foreground that move at different speeds relative to you moving through the area, and likewise bits in the background that are moving at a different speed relative to you moving around them, which is, like good old parallax, but it gives that sense of you're moving through a three-dimensional space even though you can only see two of them. And I think this game uses that really effectively. Like it just kind of it blends in. It just feels really good. There aren't a lot of there are these elements that are like in front of the gameplay in some areas, but it's done in such a way that it's rarely obtrusive. It's sometimes I find it slightly obtrusive. Like, oh, there was a little spiky dude directly behind like this thing that I just got attacked by because I didn't see it because it was behind a piece of like foregroundy plant matter or something. But that, like, those are rare. Most of the time it's fine, Okay. I think that'll do for what I want to do with this bit of it. But I'll have to look and see what this actually looks like when it's right side up, because right now it looks a certain way to me, but how will it look when it's... Yeah! I like it! I like the spooky dribbles. It's not quite the same as the texture in game. And I'll see if I can bring that back up so you can compare. But I don't need it to look exactly the same as in the game. That's fine. This is my art, like, stupid fan art. It's gonna be different. That's okay. I am cool with that, and I'm also very self-aware of my abilities, limitations, and preferences as an artist, being not precisely as 'tis in game, but in the vicinity, shall we say? And I think that's neat. I'm just gonna look up one more thing about Jiji, because I think I saw like a screenshot or something where it was Jiji was conjuring the spirit, and I just want to look at what do the little sort of plumes of magic within that look like. Shoot, I really hate websites that try to... Oh, it wasn't even from this website. Shoot. Okay. Websites that try to autoplay video, it's like, no, don't you do that. I'm streaming right now. Don't you do that. I'm streaming right now. The clearly Hollow Knight, but also clearly Sammy is a good mix. Oh, thank you for saying so, Tals. I do. That's one of the things that I honestly find a little bit weird about doing Hollow Knight fan art in particular, is that because Hollow Knight it's not like doing fan art for like books or like a TV show or something where like everything's live action, and therefore I can kind of just do this is what it looks like in my art style. I don't really have the same... Hollow Knight, it already exists in a stylized world and a stylized, for lack of a better word, style, and so to work within that, I don't really know how to deviate too far from the stylized appearance of the characters, but also I don't want to just recreate exactly what the game looks like. So trying to find a compromise where it feels like a piece of artwork that I've done, but also feels like it's recognizably Hollow Knight art. Has been an interesting challenge over the last few years of making and doing Hollow Knight art. And now I'm trying to make little bubbles of weird void magic, which are conjuring this This magic 5 of hearts. Wow, was this your card? Yay! Dun dun dun! Is this your card? The Hollow Knight style is so effective for their world, says Talos. It really is. It's gorgeous. I love it. If I feel like I don't know if this is the case for everyone, but aesthetic, like the visuals of a game, are a really important factor a lot of the time in am I going to enjoy this to the fullest extent. Like there are games where like I can see that the gameplay is fun, but I just visually do not enjoy looking at it. Like there are some games where I'm like, this looks like it'd be a really fun time, but the visual style just kind of makes my eyes feel bad. Like either it's just not very designed or the design is very deliberate in a specific way that like I find unpleasant. Like, for instance, I was watching someone on YouTube doing a big boss fight with a character in Bloodborne the other day, and I was like, see, there's a lot about this game that I feel like would probably be fun, but just the visual stuff is so, like, viscerally yucky to me in a lot of places. Like, wow, this boss really is just... It really is just a pile of mangled bones and gore. I hate looking at it. I don't want to end up stuck looking at it for 2 hours while I try and beat this dang fight. No, 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 no. Whereas, you know, on the other hand, in Hollow Knight, you have bosses that look like, you know, just little guys. Bosses that just look like little guys, you know, like that kind of thing. I mean, if a game has a stunning art style, but the gameplay or the story or something like that is like, no, not for me. There was a game that I can't remember what it was called, but there was a game that I started playing like a couple years ago because I'd seen it and aesthetically and the music was beautiful and like the scenery was gorgeous. I was like, yeah, this really appeals. And then I started playing and I was like, oh no, this game is really depressing. This game is just childhood trauma, the game. This isn't fun. So despite the fact that it was gorgeous, I was like, I can't play this. This isn't cozy. This isn't cozy. Some games to me are like, this game is cheaper than therapy, and then some games to me are like, this game is gonna require me to have therapy. Uh, was it Little Misfortune? No, it was like a name, I think, or something. But I can't remember what it was. And then there are games that are beautiful and also cheaper than therapy, like Gris. If you've never played that game, it's not very long. It's absolutely stunning visually, and I cried at the end of it. Oh boy. But it's like a cathartic cry, you know what I mean? That's a good game, but it also deals with some emotions. But yeah, there's been games that are supposed to be great, says Rex, but I couldn't get into the art style and didn't like it. Exactly. It's the same for me with things like graphic novels, that kind of thing, or comics in general. Like, the story might be great, but if I don't also feel like I want to keep looking at the art, this is tough for me, you know. But yeah, anyways. And then sometimes you get that like synergy of like the art is amazing and makes my eyes super happy, and the story is good gazillion% good stuff. And those are like firm favorites when you manage to do both of those things. It feels so good. I'm wondering if should I put more magic, or is this already too much magic? I don't know. I don't know how many is an appropriate amount of magic. Maybe just some more like little doots here and there. Just some like smaller doots. So we've got some variations in size. Yeah. I think that feels better to me. Having the sort of different sizes of magical doots here and there. That's a good. Okay. All right. Wait. Wait. There. Okay. Yeah, now the dudes are done. Every time I'm like, okay, I think I'm finished futzing. I'm gonna stop futzing, and then I just gotta futz with like one more thing. Just gotta futz with like one more thing. Why do I do that? Anyways, wow. Tal says I had with a book recently where the font just put me off reading it. I can totally relate to that. Some fonts are just less pleasant to read than others. That's totally fair. Actually, speaking of books, that reminds me. I feel like that's part of the reason that there are some fairly standard fonts that just carry across most books for most of time because it's pleasant and fairly readable. Anyways, that's why the only font should be Comic Sans. I mean, in terms of like accessible readability, I think I've heard that Comic Sans is actually pretty good, but visually speaking, no, there are better sans serifs that are well put together for accessible reading. Anyways, I'm sorry, Comic Sans. I just don't like you. I'm gonna peel off the masking fluid from these bad boys and let these bad boys dry briefly whilst I do. Poor little Steve. Trying his best. But he's caught a cold. I am envisioning that the infection he has isn't like the infection. He's literally just got a cold. Listen, sometimes it be like that, you know? Catching a cold in like the spring and summer is the weirdest and the worst. No fun. Anyways, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I saw a complaint recently about a book that someone had purchased, where like clearly like the book printers, the book publisher. I don't know how book publishing works, but the printers are clearly trying to cut costs with these books that they've printed. Because the pages were like normally when you read most books, I feel like the white is like this paper, for instance, is white, but it's not like burn your eyes off white, you know. There's a bit of subtlety to it. I think it's not like necessarily whatever the hex code for like purest white is, it's not quite there, right? It's a little bit softer than that. And you generally expect like the pages of a good book to be slightly off like the brightest white. These pages were the brightest white. Like they were like, you know, standard like inkjet printer paper white, right? Which is unusual for a book, and it looked and felt unusual for a book. But also the pages were so thin that you could see the text from the opposite, from like over the page on, like you're reading page like 1, you can see the text of page 2 through it because the paper was so thin. And to try and read through an entire, I think this was a fantasy novel of like a significant thickness. This is like a 600-page book. It's by one of those authors who write the big, thick, you know, sort of fantasy adventure type novels. So this is a thick boy, right? And the idea of trying to read 600 pages of bright, like stark black on bright white text on paper that is so thin you can see through it. That is frankly, I couldn't do it. That's unreadable. No. Books are not and should not be on copy paper, says Rex. Wholeheartedly agree. Oh no, that would be horrible, says Tels. Yeah, I would, honestly, like, I'm not a big, like, I'm gonna return things and get things refunded person, but I would have to do something else with that book because I wouldn't be able to read it. Maybe no, I wouldn't refund it. I'd donate it. At the very least, like, maybe someone else is not going to be as bothered by this as I am, and they can pick it up from a charity shop for, like, £1. Like, that's fine. Like, that's okay, but, like, you know, not mad at the author about it, certainly, because, like, it's not, that is very much out of the hands of the author. That's the printer's decision. But if I was the author, I'd be like, what are you, no, I'd be so sad. But oftentimes I hear of things that are out of the author's hands. There was a case recently where an author was talking about the cover illustration that they'd chosen for like a specific like region specific edition of their novel they absolutely hated. They were shown it by the publisher. They were like, yeah, this is not good for the book. I don't like this choice. I don't approve of this. And they just did it anyways, which is just awful. Anyways, Rex says that all of my Game Jam projects have been Comic Sans specifically because its use is cringeworthy, but it's dyslexia friendly, so you can't actually hate on me for it. And I would never hate on you for that. Because I am 5,000% here for using, like, for being accessible when it comes to things like mindful font choice. It's like when you see people in like their social media profiles and in like even using them in like the body text of their like Instagram posts and using like weird special character fonts that are like tiny or are like, you know, sort of gothic script looking. I'm like, I don't have any like that I know of reading related learning disabilities, but if I would, this would be torture for me, and it's already torture for me. And as far as I know, I don't have that kind of a learning disability. But like, woof. Like, don't do that. I also think that those things mess with screen readers, which is one of my big, another one of my big complaints, is, online anyways, when people do things in a way that like messes with screen readers. Like if they use the alt text, if they use their alt text on a social media post, that if you post an image, it'd be great if you could provide alt text if you're able to do so. It just needs to be a short description of what it's a picture of. That's fine. You know, like I would say that this is I would describe this as, you know, a 3-panel image of the whatever this character is actually called from Hollow Knight doing a sneeze. They're doing the sort of the they're trying not to sneeze, and they're blowing a big honkin' sneezy into a tissue. Against a blue gradient. That's how I would describe this probably. Maybe not quite as poorly as I just did, but you know, that kind of thing. But sometimes you'll see people using alt text to like add to the joke of their post, and I'm like, no, that's not what it's for. It's an accessibility tool. It's not like a fun secret feature to make jokes. Because that's just excluding a large group of people who can't see what the picture is. The screen reader's just going to be able to tell them it's an image. Like, get in the bin. Rex says, I have no idea how to alt text my Hollow Knight Art Month stuff, so it's all kind of bad. Alt text and prob's not that useful. It is better than no alt text. It is absolutely better than no alt text. You know, even if you're just saying like an image created in Spore, inspired by the Fluke Marm from Hollow Knight. That's all it needs to be. Like you can go into a lot of detail, but you know, like a perfunctory just description of what it is, like factually, that's fine. Yes. Okay, I think I can remove the masking of the fluid from this as well, which is good, because it also bodes well for us actually finishing this piece today, which I would really, really like to do. So hopefully I can do that. Okay. I think I got a little bit of a purple shadow on our little guy's cheek, but hopefully I can clean that off with just a little bit of water and a tissue. Let me just get that. You got some schmutz on your face there, little buddy. Let me just get that. Or conversely, if I can't, we can concede that the magic that's happening is causing a little bit of a glow, and therefore I can just actually use like a shadow effect. You know what? Ooh, I'm gonna add some lighting effect to this. So we're gonna presuppose that the magic that's happening is glowing a little bit, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of sort of a highlight and shadow situation to the two figures to give that effect, which is just also really fun and looks really nice. So like, why not? Anyways, I'm going to finish removing this masking fluid, and then we're going to have another short break, and then we will do that. Rex said that's exactly what it is. Haha. Blank recreated in sport. That's you know what? You have described the thing. And the thing is, like, I think if you know what spore is, you will understand. And if you don't know what spore is, you know, the whole thing is kind of a wild ride anyways. I'm loving it, by the way. If anyone who doesn't know, Rex has taken it upon himself to do all of the Hollow Knight Art Month prompts recreated in the game Spore, which is very, very fun and very cool, and has produced some very creative results, and I'm really enjoying seeing how you managed to do it, because I've basically seen like maybe 2 hours worth of other people mucking about in Spore and what the deal is with that game. So I didn't know a huge deal about it, but it's so good. Yeah, the Spore Distant Village worked so well. It's so good, and I'm very impressed that you've been figuring out how to do this. It's awesome. Oh, such a good time. And then here I am just being like a basic little bee sting with my paints. So it goes. I'm having fun. I'm gonna take another big sip of my tea. And do I have just enough time? Do I have just enough time? I have 40 seconds. Is 40 seconds enough time for me to at least mix up? I was going to actually paint it in, but now that I've put this reddish black paint onto my palette, I'm like, you know, I think this reddish black paint is a little bit too dark in and of itself for the hearts suit of my the playing card that's been drawn. So I have just blended it with some pink flamingo paint. So the color looks like this. And when we come back from BRB, I will paint in our little playing card, and then we will paint in the rest of this bad boy, and then we'll be done. So, yay. Anyways, Rex says, I thought it worked well too. That one is full of hidden supports because you can't have floating things painted to be the same color as the background panel. Genius. Absolute gosh dang genius. We'd love to see it. So, yeah. It's awesome. I have to BRB. So, be right back, everyone. BRB. Hello, friends. I'm back. Hopefully the ads ran. Hi. Also, has my chatbot not been run? Oh, shoot. I didn't run my chatbot. Oh, no. Oops. Sorry about that computer ping. That was my chatbot asking if it can exist. Yes. I'm sorry, chatbot. Please don't be mad at me. We're only like 2 hours into the stream. Good Lord, I'm a professional gamer, everyone. Can you tell? Can you tell? Because I can't. Oh no. Oh no. Well, now hopefully we're up and running, so, are we? Is it actually not actually running? What the flip? Why is it not actually running? Is it just taking a really long time? I'm like minimizing all of my windows to see if it's just like loading in the background. No. Oh, there it is. It's just taking like a minute to start loading. What a silly goose. Okay. Budding says tells. Yep. Budding. What a fun sound. I'm sorry if that was like really loud to y'all. I genuinely don't know. Okay, these hearts are so tiny. I kind of wish I had a magnifying glass for this level of detail. I think, honestly, the tiny details in things... I'm starting to wonder if I should get my eyes tested again. And that I maybe should have, like, spectacles. Spectacles sounds like the name of like a Greek hero. I am Spectacles. I have come to fight, oh no, a giant sea serpent with 5 eyes. Other Greek heroes are available, says Styles. Hopefully, because I don't know if Spectacles would do a very good job. Spectacles is trying his best. Okay, that's a really ropey looking 5. Oh well. That one's mildly better, annoyingly. The more you try to fix it, the worse it gets. Okay, you can kind of tell that it's supposed to be a 5. I mean, context cues. Context cues exist here. I feel like that's fine. Jeez Louise. What a silly creature I am. La la la. Okay, let me just get a look at this picture of Jiji so that I can,
New limited edition blue raspberry fight milk. Makes you almost as cool as Hornet.
Sammy Ann, thank you very much for the delicious blue raspberry fight milk. Thank you, thank you. I'm gonna have a sip of my fight milk equivalent. Time for an ad, says Sammy Ann. Hi, Sammy Ann. Welcome in. How are you doing? Alright, everyone. In honor of the sticker, which I very appreciate, thank you. Everyone sip your fight milk. Mine's coffee flavored. Yum, yum. Fight skills and energy. Focus juice and fight ability. Love it. Good, says Sammy. And yay, glad to hear it. Glad to catch some art this afternoon. Well, it's very lovely to see you. Hello, hello. What do I need to paint in? Okay. So I need to pull up my reference picture of little Jiji. This is Jiji. Oh, I think she's so cute. I really do. I think she's a fun shape, and she is an enjoyable lady and friend. Oh wow, this is quite watered down. I feel like this isn't quite dark enough, but that's fine, because we can layer this, and that means we can hopefully do a little bit of dramatic light and shadowy gubbins, but not too complicated, because again, this is a daily art prompt, so I can't get too complicated, you know? I'm trying to do a little bit more in terms of kind of interesting lighting this year as well, and just shading things in. But again, I don't want to go overboard and have things just end up taking more time than I have to devote to each of these pieces. I'm not the fastest art person in general. Like, I see some of the things that people are like, oh, this is just a little 20-minute sketch, and I look at it and I'm like, how is that not 5 hours of work? What the flip? Skill issue, maybe. But I've always been slow at, like, everything that I do. I'm just slow. I think it probably also helps if you're working in digital and you literally don't have to, like, wait for your layers to dry. That helps a little bit. I would certainly be able to work faster if I didn't have to, like, wait for my paints to dry. That does slow things up just a smidgen, just a tiddly bit. It does. And that, that's fine. Okay. I'm pulling in a little bit of the bluish black for the, like, body segmenty bits. I need to look and see what color the, approximately 79 minutes has passed and my shift is over. Goodbye and have a good night. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, Rex. It was lovely to see you. Thank you for the terrible drawing prompt as well. That was really, really fun. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Yay! Congratulations on work being done. Hell yeah. Alright, as for me, my work continues. But I shall tryeth my best. Okay. Oh, some child is singing along with their pop music outside. It's what is the word I seek? Tuneless? That feels mean, but it's a little tuneless. Sorry, child. Anyways. I've completely lost where the feet are because my paint is too dark, but that's okay. That's eminently cope-withable, I think, in the end. I will just consult my reference, and we'll be fine. And you've got the arms that are kind of the same colors, like the upper shell bit, like that. And then we have sort of a slightly contrasting, almost kind of, I think I'm going to use this yellowish black as a base, because it's kind of a nice sort of old gold ochre kind of color to begin with. So I think that would work really well. But I think what I will do is bring in my little brush. Tomcat! Hello, welcome in. Hey, Sammy. Hey, also, Sammy. On the vast emptiness of space under my mailbag. Post is dilly-dallying. Ah, beans. Well, please do let me know when it arrives. I have found of late that sometimes the post can be variable. Like here, there are definitely I think our local postal service, and I've been hearing that this is the case up and down the country actually, are understaffed, which sucks, but also means that like sometimes we will find ourselves in a situation where we get like one postal delivery, like just all of our sort of like letter post just shows up on like a Saturday. Which is welcome on in. Hello. Lovely to see you. Yeah, especially from a non-EU country, says Tomcat. That tends to slow things up as well. I've definitely had situations with German friends and elsewhere where things have taken a couple of weeks, which is annoyingly can't be helped. Also, Canadian friends. Holy guacamole, says Foxy. Oh my goodness, hello. Finally get to catch a stream. Well, welcome in. It's lovely to see you. Hello. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I am just, I'm having a really nice time painting our friend Jiji here. I think they're cute, and I hope you do too. I'm Canadian. Yay! Hello, fellow Canadian. I don't know if you can tell by my accent, but I'm from there originally. I am indeed. But, I live in the UK now. I've been living, as of today, I did mention earlier, I've been living in the UK for, 12 years. It took me a second to compute. Tomcat said, welcome in, eh? We don't even say it like that. Honestly, I lived in Canada for the first almost 30 years of my life, and I would say that most people don't really say that much. Like, they don't, if they do at all. Like, I never did. I also don't think, I don't think I say a boot, either. This is the thing. I don't think that, in terms of having a Canadian accent that's more demonstrably of a region, I feel like it's more like a boot than a boot. Some people said, oh, you don't say a boot. It's like, yeah, no, I don't. I say about. I say about. But, and I'm saying it weird now because I'm thinking really hard about it. Anyways. What? You're not a proper Canadian if you haven't had pancakes with chicken? What? I don't think that's a Canadian thing. Or if it is, it's unless it's specific to a region I've never been to. If that's specifically, I don't know, a thing that they do in Moncton or Saskatoon. But I don't think that's a thing. Or if it is, it's not like Timbits and Nanaimo bars and butter tarts. Oh, butter tarts, my beloveds. Yeah, Sammy asks, what the heck is this? I'm Canadian. It's the first I've heard of it. I've never heard of it. I mean, pancakes, I did make pancakes back in the old country, all the time. Tals is not a thing I know of. Shows you're not proper Canadian, says Tomcat. Hey, listen, we are generally a reasonably good-natured people, but we will fight. Listen, no, but seriously, that's an interesting. I think that must be just specific to like that person, because that's not a thing that I'm aware of. I know that in like, okay, speaking of like the same landmass, I am familiar with in America, and I think like predominantly it comes from the American South, so like no, like geographically nowhere near Canada, that fried chicken with waffles is a thing. But that's very much not a thing from Canada that I know of, unless that's something that has developed in the last 12 years and I'm just out of touch with contemporary Canadian culture, which is very much a thing. Because I've been far away for so long that there are aspects of like Canadian stuff that now feel like a culture shock to me, a Canadian person, because I no longer live there. But those are few and far between. Those are things like a supermarket chain tried to introduce one of those things where when you're going through the self-checkouts, you have to scan your receipt on the way out because they're scared that people are going to steal, even though, like, statistically, people are not stealing that much. Like, you just suck. Anyways, that is a very southern thing. Yes, waffles and chicken. Yeah, like southern, like United States, which is a different country and a very different culture. I mean, I suppose, I don't know, if you go to a restaurant such as the Golden Griddle, I don't know if the Golden Griddle family restaurant chain still exists, you could probably get fried chicken and pancakes, but they wouldn't necessarily be together. I don't know. I'm calling mild shenanigans on this, but again, I am no longer a Canadian resident, so I could be wrong. Tomcat says, well, I couldn't find any sources whatsoever saying it's Canadian. Find some evidence saying it's from the U.S. South. It must be a thing, probably from another region. She doesn't go to our school. Huh. I'm confused. I am confusion about this, because, yeah, no. No, that isn't... No. Sorry. I mean, I did used to enjoy waffles and pancakes. I don't eat meat, so, like, fried chicken isn't for me anyways. I've had pancake battered chicken strips, but that was not a Canada thing, says Samia. That sounds wild and delightful. I hope it was yummy. I hope it was yummy. Okay, I'm gonna paint in my little swordy sword. Tra-la-la-la-la-la. Okay. Okay, we're getting somewhere. We are getting somewhere with this. I think we are. Oh no. No, we're not. My brush was too wet, everybody. Everything's all ruined. No, that's fine. Just shading this down a little bit more because it's still really, this purple is just wanting to stay really light. I think it could be a little bit darker. So I'm trying to do that. Okay. Is this almost there? Hell yeah. I think maybe it is almost there. I don't know. I can think of Poutine. Yes, very Canadian. Beer. Yup, Canadian beer. Very much a thing. Timmy is definitely an institution. Maple syrup. Delightful. Nanaimo bars. Bannock. All delicious. Except maybe the beer just for me personally. But that's just because I'm not a beer enjoyer. I never have been. I think I can count on one hand the number of times I've had, like, a Labatt Blue. It was twice. And I was like, this is fine. I didn't enjoy it. This is very soft and pretty, says Sammy. And aw, thank you. I hope you can tell I'm having fun with this piece. Because I am. This piece is proving to be actually quite a good time. So, Hell yeah. Okay. Maybe just a little bit of shadow on the little swordy sword as well, just for funsies. Then can I like extra darken down just a smidgen this bit of the... This is still probably too wet for me to want to be messing with, but how about I do it anyways? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna, again, time to stop futzing. Time to stop futzing. It's hard to stop myself from futzing. Futzing is fun. I can, says Sammy. It is wonderful, and you can feel the love as you work on it. Oh, you're giving me an emotion. You're causing a commotion in my emotions, friend. Thank you so much for saying so. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna add, I think this, like, the trim on this, these robes can be a little bit darker as well, because it's quite light in places. So I think I want to just darken that down. This color scheme of this outfit just reminds me of one of my favorite descriptors of a like a garment in a Woodhouse novel is where Bertie describes his heliotrope pajamas with the old gold stripe. I'm just like, that sounds like a wonderful pair of pajamas. Fussing is part of the artist code, says Sammy, and hell yeah. I was working on some Hollow Knight too. We are Hollow Knight jamming, hell yeah. Am I allowed to ask what flavor of Hollow Knight? I'd love to know. What character or scene you were playing in. Just if you want to share, obviously, no pressure. I think, okay. Just gonna bring a tiny bit of, I don't want these end pieces to be like pure white. I think they're slightly toned. There we go. Okay. It's not quite as stark. But now I think I can just start using like black. Or close enough to black, basically. For the bits that want to be very, very dark. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw on the little guy's leggies first. He's got their little legs. I love that their legs are so little. They're just, I feel like the knight from Hollow Knight really is one of those characters that just absolutely expresses like little guy energy. Like, they are just such a little guy. Oh, you're working on the bookmark bench with the vessel. Nice. I love it. I love that piece. It's so good. So good. I can't wait to see what it looks like when it's all done, because it's going to be delightful. I know it. Okay. Okay, so let's give this little guy one eye. Let's give this little guy two eyes and be scared the whole time. Because I'm like, I'm okay with the eyes not being perfectly symmetrical. Because, like, my eyes aren't perfectly symmetrical. You know, so it goes. But, you know, I don't want them to look weird either. Okay. I need to do Gigi's face. I'm gonna just pull up my, reference for Jiji for that. I think I also do actually have a photo that I took of the sketch of Jiji, so I can potentially reference that if I need to, just to make sure that everything is looking as it should. This bit is scary. So I apologize if I get real quiet, because this bit is a little scary. And if I keep turning the canvas, it's because I don't want to ruin it, okay? Okay. Just have to be super sure that we paint in the bits that need to be painted, and that we don't paint in any of the bits that don't. Ah! Okay, what if I just bring it around town like that? Once again, sorry I keep turning it. Ah. Absolutely terrifying. Absolutely gosh dang terrifying, this section, this process. I'm aware of the fact that I'm going to be scanning this in and posting it to social media, so like if I accidentally blobbed a bit of paint on an area that I didn't mean to and I wasn't able to fully lift it, I could just clone that out in post. Like, sometimes you gotta fix it in post, and that's okay. Like, that's allowed. It doesn't matter. There are no rules. The only rule is do whatever the flip you feel like and have a fun time doing it. But I still like to, try not to ruin my paintings. It sometimes goes better than others. Anyways, where's my little sketchy do of Jiji? There she is. Oh, there she is. This is what she looked like when she was just a sketchy. Isn't she beautiful? So I'm just gonna hold this here for a second, so I can see exactly what's going on here with this side of the eyes. I think it's actually kind of. The actual, like, shell thing actually kind of came down a little bit here. So maybe what I should do is just take this opportunity to slightly... There's a bit of a water line that's formed here, I think, because my washi do was too wet. So I'm going to try and blend that out a little bit, because I don't really want there to be a water line there if I can avoid it. But I think in so doing, I'm just making more of a water line. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Heck. Okay. Well, first of all that, but second of all, do I need to just repaint in this whole thing now? Blah, 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 blah. If I just repaint this whole sort of like back bit of the shell head portion, and we'll just call that good and forget that happened. Shh, it's fine. It's fine. This was totally intentional, and it's gonna look cute. I'm not concerned in the slightest. This was definitely not an episode of concern. Or was it? No-ish. No-ish. It definitely wasn't. Shh. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. I think I brought it back and everything is fine. Okay. Everything's fine again. I need to do other bits that are black. I think Jiji's little like antenna things are just straight ahead black, and I think that's it. So then I can do all of the things that need to be lined as twere. And then that's kind of it for this piece. Yay. Oh man, I can tell my eyes are tired because my eyes just did that thing where they, Does anyone else do this? When you're trying to, like, focus on something, or you need to be looking carefully at something that it's always when you need to be looking carefully at something that you're working on that your eyes will just sort of, like, judder for a second. Not just go out of focus, but just, like, twitch. And, like, your vision just goes sort of, like that for a second. And it's like, whoa! Hello? Why would you do that? Oh no! Is that just me? God, I hope it isn't just me, but also I don't wish that on anyone because it sucks. Um, Never mind. Anyways, that's something that happens to me from time to time, especially when I've been working for a while and I probably need to give my eyes a rest, and probably when I'm done with this, I was kind of hoping that I'd be able to finish the Steve piece today as well, but it looks like I'm going to have to carry that over until tomorrow, and that's okay. Because that doesn't need to be posted until tomorrow anyways, and I don't have any other urgent... The only other thing that I have to do tomorrow is I have to listen to a podcast episode that I'm going to be guesting on. It's going to be out next week, so I will let you know on socials and all that jazz when it's out. I will be, not to spoil it too much, but I will be talking about fashion history. So if that's something that you're into, watch this space. Anyways, that was really fun to record, actually. The host was very cool, and we had a really fun chat, so I hope people will enjoy it. Anywho, okay, I think the next thing I want to do is just figure out what the deal is with Gigi's little feets. Because the line weight for them kind of disappeared as I painted them in, so I need to kind of look and see whereabouts they were here. That, wow, this line is so thick. It's so thick. Oh no. Oh well, you know what? That's fine. Who cares? Who cares? You know what? Those feet are cute. It don't matter. It don't matter. The feet are cute. It's all fine. I think the paintbrush was just a little bit too wet. And then just some little body lines, because those are always fun and cute. And I'm gonna go back to painting in, doing the line weight for the little ones. Poncho. Just because there are aspects of Jiji that I just want to make sure are definitely dry before I try and line them. Ah, the eyeball shimmy. Yes, I know, says Tal. So it's not just me. Oh, okay. So number one, I'm really sorry you experienced that. And number two, thank goodness it isn't just me. Because it sucks and I don't enjoy it. Anyways. I'm always really concerned that I haven't drawn like the sizes of the characters perfectly, like, relative to each other in as per the specifications of the game, but also Lil guy is always Lil. If everything else be bigger, good job me. That's kind of all it needs to be, you know? Like that, like, that's fine, I think. Okay. And Jiji is saying, "Is this your card?" And I can't remember what Gigi's voice is exactly, but I feel like she'd say something like, "Is this your card?" And he'd be like, "Yeah, I was here to get my soul back." And you know, she'd be like, "Is this your card?" Sure, Jiji, thank you. Well, I guess I'm never seeing my ghostie again. Tra-la-la. Ain't that just the way, little buddy? Ain't that just the way? Alright. I genuinely briefly contemplated doing this as like an animation where I just have like Gigi's arms flapping and like the little magic bubbles moving around, but I was like, you know, this is a 31-day art prompt list. I can't do 2 animations in 2 days. I did... Was it last year that I did an animation? Or was it the year before? I can't remember. I did do an animation at one point. It was for the last day. And I think the prompt was the White Palace. If you're not familiar with the White Palace in Hollow Knight, um, if you like having to platform around spinning saw blades, you're gonna have a great time there. It was my first playthrough. It was hands down my least favorite part of the game. I was like, why would they include this? It's terrible. And then I played the game again when I was better at the game, and I was like, okay, yeah, you know what? Parts of this are actually pretty fun. But I understand why the Path of Pain is called that. Not my favorite place to hang out in Hollow Knight. Anyways. Programming note. Tomorrow morning I'm gonna stream. I'm gonna play some Hollow Knight. I don't know what areas we'll end up in, but hopefully we'll have a good time. I might actually, once I finish this was supposed to be a speed run of Hollow Knight, but then it ended up taking so long. We're like 12 hours in that I'm like, I can't speed run. There are too many things that I want to do. I get like distracted, and then I just want to run around and have a good time and just be in the space. So it's just an average sized run, I guess, rather than a speed run. Oh well, never mind. Well, when this run's done, I might play a different game for however long it takes to play another game. Because there are other games out there that I either haven't played or haven't played in a really long time. I really want to, I want to try Ori and the Blind Forest in hard mode. I want to do, the Celeste DLC. There's like a bunch of stuff that I would genuinely love to do. And I just haven't had the chance. So, maybe I do some of those soon. I hope people will still want to hang out with me if I'm playing a different game. I mean, the similarities are evident in as much as still going to be playing a game where I play a sweet little character and I'm in an environment that's really hard to platform around. It's not that different. But yeah, it's not like I've always only played Hollow Knight anyways. So sometimes it's nice to take a little detour into another land. See what's out there, explore. Have a nice time. Go on an adventure. Discover other games that are similarly fun, that kind of thing. Is this done? Have I forgotten anything? Is this finished? I'm trying to see if there's anything I haven't... Yes, okay, there's one more thing that I would like to do. I'm gonna just get my brush a little bit wet. I'm gonna get a little bit of paint off of the thingy, and I'm just gonna add a little line weight to the floor. So that it, feels like a floor, And then I'll probably call this piece good. What time is it? Okay. Yeah. I think I do have to go make salad fairly shortly. But salad doesn't take super long to make, so I've been able to go on for a bit. But I am gonna definitely have to take off before, ads run again, because I know that I'm not gonna be able to stream too much longer. So if the ads try to run, I'm gonna have to quit out of that and then bounce. Because I don't want you to have to sit through another ad break when I'm just about to finish anyways. So this is Merchant. We're going to post this evening. I hope you like it. Is this your card? I hope that's your card. I hope you weren't looking for anything more tangible than that, little guy. Because tough biscuits. I need to just quickly look up what color this... I'm pretty sure this guy is just kind of, bluish. Hollow Knight. Crossroads. Jump. I don't know the in-game name character for this guy, So I'm hoping that if I just put, like, character what jumps, it will show up in my image search. Please and thank you. I don't think it is. The search is just trying to show me, like, to show me ways of doing, like, speedrunning skips. Crossroads. Hollow Knight Crossroads enemies. Okay, just show me this guy. Yeah, okay, his body is just kind of grayish blue. That's fine, that's easy. Okay, that's all I wanted to know, is that his body is just kind of grayish blue. And then I can do, like, the line weight and stuff tomorrow, because I think I'm gonna need to. Okay, yeah, that's fine, that's easy. Yay. Yay! So I'm gonna do that real quick, and then we will call it for today. Partially just because I want to give myself as little of this to do as possible tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm also hoping to finish Saturday's artwork, which again is Monomon and her gazillions of books. Which I'm going to try and speedrun bookshelf painting as much as I can, but it's still going to take me some time to do. So, you know. You know. I love this little dude. I think he's so much fun. He is, especially, like, early in the game where when you're still getting to grips with, like, how to play it. This guy is deeply annoying. But I still love him. And my god, he is such a Steve. I don't know why, he just looks like a Steve to me. That's a good thing. There are some good Steves out there in the world. I don't know, the first time I met this guy, I was just like, oh, Steve, you scamp. This is very normal Hollow Knight player behavior, I'm sure. I'm positive. It's fine. You know what? At least he's blowing his nose into a tissue here and not just, like, making a mess. We need to be... sometimes one needs to be grateful for small mercies, am I right? Because this could be real gross. Such as it is in-game, when he just sneezes Fanta at you and it's nasty. Okay, alright, so there's not too much to finish on this piece, which is great. That hopefully will be the work of, like, 10 minutes tomorrow. But I gotta go make falafel salad, so whilst I find someone for us to raid, I'm gonna let you guys look at this, because I finished it, and I think it's okay. I think for something that I started and finished in the space of, like, a day, it's fine. I'm good with that. Okay. Let me see if there's anyone on that I can do a little raid of. I will be back tomorrow doing, some, you know, the usual stuff. I can't remember. You know, stuff. I don't know. Who have I not done a raid on in a while? Let's see if they are about to finish. Are you about to finish your stream? Hopefully not. They doesn't look like they are. I think they just come back from an ad break. Okay, let's raid them. Who's doing some... oh my goodness! Who is this art friend? They're very cool. Okay, they're doing some very cool art over there, so I will send you in that direction. I'm popping a generic raid message into the chat. If you would like to grab the raid call, you can do so. If you have the emotes, feel free to grab the emotes, and if you don't have the emotes, you can just say generic raid message and pen any cool emotes that you do have. That's all good. I'm going to use some ananas just popping in, because they're our little art friend. And, then I'm going to go make salad. So I hope you all have a wonderful evening. It's been so nice hanging out with you today. Yeah, I shall be back tomorrow morning, as per usual, playing some of this very video game, embodying this little guy and making them run around and jump and stuff. It's gonna be fun, hopefully. Anyways, I hope you have a wonderful evening and all that. I will see you hopefully soon. Have a good time in the meantime. I'll be back tomorrow. Good night and good